Oh darn it, the sky actually has some pretty nice scenery and stuff. Kind of the right amount of clouds I would like anyways to get a good shot. It's too bad I just can't fly because of the laws, huh guys? There's a lot of stuff I didn't have time to talk about yesterday, so I'll talk a bit about it today. But some interesting stuff I read today, like talk about like dangers of things flying in the air. I think this is kind of an interesting piece of news. I think it happens every year. Basically, apparently crow attacks are happening more often. Like people just in the streets getting hit by crows from behind. And so apparently even like a local school here, they made like an app or whatever to keep track of where all the crows attacks are. So you can see here to warn people. It makes me think again with all the things in the air that are a danger. To me anyways, based on the news and all that, drones seems to be the less of the worries compared to things like animals. Actually made me think too, because I know a lot of people when they flew drones, they said you should be worried about birds and all that. So it made me wonder if things like a crow, like if I was flying it, and since there's a lot of crows now, would the crow go crashing into like my Mavic thinking it's a predator or whatever? And it made me wonder, are there such things as like a scarecrow skin for the Mavics or drones? Like would that actually work in scaring the birds away? In many ways I'm surprised like the birds aren't just afraid of the propellers in general, spinning that fast that you have the guts to take it down still. Wow. But there was this one piece of news that was actually interesting about drones because, you know, many people, like to my knowledge here anyways, like that justify those really dumb laws. They say, yeah, drones are just quote toys. Like who cares about you guys? Like that's not the case. I mean, it bans pretty much everything and even the good use of it. So that's why this story kind of caught my attention. Like in the US, I believe they said they were using drones to help find people with Alzheimer's. So it's kind of interesting. They were using it to find them like within like 30 minutes or so, like compared to before when they didn't have drones. Apparently they were saying it's really dangerous or it could take like a long time. So like here's my example, like personally, like just because you don't use the tech like right now in whatever way, it's not just people having fun with it. I mean, it could be, as an example, the younger person is using it for fun, but who knows like the type of stuff that they can develop like this to help others as well. So I hope people realize like what they're doing when they're saying like, yes, I fully agree that you ban this whole tech. Like imagine all the other good stuff you can do with it as well. I mean, who knows? Like a person like me, again, I bought a drone personally just to use it for video or photography reasons. But who knows if someone needs an emergency, like an actual person to fly a drone, it gives me like the skill set, for example, to do that. Like in that sense. So by stopping people from me doing that, you're stopping basically everything else as well. Like I don't think I need to tell people really, like a lot of innovations and solutions that we use in our everyday lives were just invented by people, whatever, in their garage, the backyard, just by pursuing a hobby, and then ding, I had an idea. So by stopping people from enjoying a hobby, even if it's just for fun, could, you know, restrict innovations that help people in a good way as well. And I guess DJI is going all out with the that node as well for Canada, because I got a message today from them even reminding everyone about that node, like to submit the forms and all that. It kind of made me think, because I missed this yesterday, because Dan, you said you actually showed me stuff like you're submitting your questions and stuff for an MP, which is what a lot of people suggested to do it the formal way. So I thought it was kind of interesting to see the responses and stuff you get, because I know like for a person like me, like for things like that, you usually assume it's not going to get anywhere. It's going to be people arguing about quote politics. So I thought it'd be kind of interesting just to show kind of what it's like. Because even I said before, my very first search when I looked up like Canada members of parliament and all that were those videos of people in parliament arguing over the word fart. Like, oh my goodness. So it seems like here you started off your message by explaining how you feel like the rules, they're written in a really poor way where it basically stops people from using the tech and it hinders like innovation and all that. Like you say, the regulations recently imposed on recreational drone users threaten the future of this growing industry. We urge you to amend the ordinance to reflect more rational approach to drone safety. And yeah, so for the most part, I guess from there you would wait and see if they actually respond to you or not. And so I guess here you did get a response from the MP. I guess it's Mr. Ride or Reed, probably butchering the name. But you got a response from the, what is this here? Legislative assistant. And it says here, unfortunately, under the Liberal government, Transport Canada has begun regulating drones through interim regulations without normal public consultation. Understandably, many people who bought drones may now feel their investment and leisure activity is in jeopardy. Actually, that quote there is actually what I'm concerned about sometimes if you do it like the really formal way. Like here it says, unfortunately, under the Liberal government. So it kind of makes me worried at times, like when you're contacting people like this who are supposed to like represent you and help you get change and all that. Are they doing it more because they legitimately believe in the cause and they're passionate about it? Or is it more as a way for them to attack the other party so that they can look better too? Like, that's generally like my concern personally with stuff like this. But I would assume either way, okay, it's good, because if they want ammo in many ways, so if that's their motivation to get the laws fixed, then hey, whatever, I guess, as long as you do it. I would imagine it's actually better to have someone who's legitimately passionate about it and believes in it strongly. That way you don't have to constantly nag them. Although I think this quote's actually interesting, the one that says, Transport Canada has begun regulating drones through interim regulations without normal public consultation. It's kind of interesting because for me personally, again, I bought the drone just to take videos for fun during my hiking trips and stuff until this law came out, then boom, now I can't use it anymore. So that basically caused me to try to do like more research and to hopefully educate people about it. And so it's kind of interesting where people before, they were saying to me, hey, go learn how the laws are done. This is normal, like the way they're dumping out these laws. Like, even recently, like some people are saying, hey, that's just the way it is. Like the way it's done, it's normal. But according to this, like that just reaffirms more. This isn't like, quote, normal. They basically dumped this out right away for whatever reason without the public's input. I mean, again, for me, I'm usually a person who's pretty rational. I try to judge things based on the facts and try to learn things as much as possible. I mean, for people like that keep telling me, for example, hey, like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, that's just the way the laws are done. Like, doesn't this like just prove even more that everything was rushed out for whatever reason without the public's input? One piece of information I found interesting here, though, it says these regulations have been put into effect for a period of up to 1 year until permanent regulations can be put into effect. You know, I always thought these interim orders expire like, what is it, 12 or 14 days or whatever, because they're temporary. So it's kind of interesting that they say it's in effect for 1 year. Maybe I'm missing something here. Again, it requires people that are more knowledgeable about the topic to talk about that. Then they link about some sites where you can learn a little bit more about the consultation process and all that, which I'll link below. Then it says here, for example, they encourage you to make your views known to Transport Canada through the process once it is active. Yeah. So I guess there's a good example of how it is, I guess, for people that contact the MPs and what it's kind of like in general. For the most part, from what I gather, like, you know, just as a person that doesn't follow stuff like this usually, it's basically you contacted them, they acknowledge that they received your concerns, and there's not much they can do about it at this moment other than like, here's like some basic information on how the stuff works. Like, your hope, I guess, I would assume, is the person you're contacting here is genuinely passionate or interested in the issue, so they will actually fight for you and like, educate like the public and all that. Again, to me, like, my hope is just like they're just not doing it because like, hey, it's just a way for me to attack the other party like, in a political way. Like, I hope they're actually genuinely interested in the topic. What kind of bird is that? What kind of bird is that? A turkey? That's kind of like why I bought the drone in general. You just never know when you just go out walking and all that. There might be just something like, you know, out of the blue you'll discover. Just like that that news that you guys sent me before about people discovering some kind of crazy biology thing just because of the drone. So again, thank you for sharing me this information. If anyone else has stuff to share too, feel free to pass it along, because in the most part, I think people need to be educated about the whole process and all that. And in terms of educating the public, kind of reminds me why, like, you know, I talk about the topics in my videos and all that, because for me, it's about trying to educate the general public as well, not just the tech-savvy people. I mean, if you guys know, I made that like video the other day just about that nightmare stuff of Garneau. And I was just reading like some of the replies that people have. Like this lady, she says, 100 feet, make it at least 1,000 feet. A gust of wind could probably make even 1,000 feet be dangerous distance from a commercial aircraft. So if I'm not mistaken, the person's implying that, you know, if you're flying the drone and even if you're like, say, 100 feet away, the wind will probably blow the drone so like far away or crash into the airplane, so make it like 1,000 feet. Okay, like I'm not an engineer or anything like that, so someone feel free to educate me, but isn't that a little far-fetched? Saying like a gust of wind where a drone is 100 feet away could just blow into an airplane and that's it, it's gone? Someone educate me about this that actually has expertise of this. But what's interesting to me though, like what makes me happy is seeing like, you know, articles like these, like you have like videos like myself, like that just popped up right beside it so people can actually see the other perspective as well. Because in my opinion, the general public needs it because this is the type of stuff they believe in and for the most part. So about doing things the formal way and all that, I guess it just shows an example again, you need more than one way to get the voice out there because it is needed like for the average, regular, everyday person. So thank you all for the people that, you know, you share my videos, you interact with it. It helps me like get it across. Is that how it's like with people fighting in parliament or people arguing on the internet when they try to talk about the issue? But it kind of makes me think again, there needs to be more than one way to voice the opinion. The formal way and basically for the way for the public and all, because for most people they're judging it really irrationally in a emotional manner, not based on scientific facts or anything like that. There, eventually, hopefully it'll turn out like that. Everyone can just enjoy everything together. I mean, especially for stuff like this in a digital media era for the most part, you know, sharing and interacting and stuff like that is like signing a petition in many ways. So by doing that, like thanks again for everyone that's doing that because it is kind of like you signing a signature to bring it out even further. That reminds me too, I've been trying to find different events and stuff to explore because like I said again, they all interrelate. I guess the more I get out there, the more I get to do like different things, it indirectly creates the awareness and stuff like that too because again, most people just judge things emotionally. It's just a little unfortunate because I think for me to educate in that way like effectively, I need to be able to fly the drone, which I can't like in most places. In fact, there's no like company or something I can just go under like, hey, I'm under your SFOC, so let's treat this as a job or whatever and fly, but I'm guessing it doesn't work that way. Anyways, see you guys later.